Hey Whovians, welcome to the Doctor Who review. If you watched my last video, you are awesome. And if you're watching this video, you're even awesomer. But you might be wondering about my room. If I'm doing these reviews on Doctor Who, why am I in front of a Beatles poster? Beatles poster. It's that way. No, it's that way. It's that way. There it is. Then I need to take you on a tour of my room. I'm taking my laptop on a walk. It hasn't been anywhere in a long time. So if you look, wait, I can do this. Up there, it's a Doctor Who poster. Doctor Who poster. Above my bed, of course, Pandorica opens. Beside my bed, of course, the TARDIS lamp. And there are a whole bunch of embarrassing drawings on my wall of the doctors and the companions. And I'd rather not show you those, I'm afraid. And that was really shoddy camera work. Sorry about that. My laptop hasn't been on a walk in a while. So rather than talking about the rights of laptops, how about we talk about Series 2 of Doctor Who? This time I've actually decided on whether to say series or season. I'm going to say series even though I'm Canadian. It's a British show and I appreciate the British. So, here we go, Series 2. So, Series 2 opens with David Tennant, and I love David Tennant. And I think the only reason that this season really works is because the chemistry between Billie Piper and David Tennant is absolutely phenomenal. You love those two, you ship them so much. I ship them so much. And it's not only that they're my OTP. If you need me to tell you what that means, then comments. But anyway, so they're not only my OTP, but they're also a little bit my bro TP because I think they're great friends and clearly they get along really well and they also are a somewhat appropriate age for one another. I mean, he's 15 years older than her, but no, he's actually a bit less, but it's okay. It feels a bit more right because Christopher Eccleston just looked a bit too old for her too. So you just feel a bit better about the whole romantic relationship thing, and also you feel better about the two of them because they're really good friends. Whereas I didn't see too much chemistry between her and Christopher Eccleston in the first season. And the Doctor in the season, he's also very dark, and so it's really good because he adds darkness to a show that was a bit too sort of upbeat, corny, and in season one, I think a problem that happened was that it the Doctor's character, if he was going to be dark, it seemed a bit out of nowhere because he didn't really seem to have a character too much. Like he did, but it was a bit forced, I find. So he was more upbeat. The Ninth Doctor was more upbeat than he probably should have been. So then the darkness seemed to come out really sporadically, and you didn't really know what was happening. So David Tennant, his Doctor, added. It was such a three-dimensional character. You started loving it so much because you could see where his darkness was coming from. You could see where all his rough decisions were coming from. And he and Rose were getting along really well and they were joking together. And I liked at the beginning that she wasn't trusting of it. Because, I mean, she's only human. And if you think about this, imagine if your friend just suddenly changed into a completely different person. You wouldn't trust them at first, right? And so I thought the series 2 was really good at showing her development as a character and how she learned to trust the Doctor and how she learned to become really good friends with him. Sorry about that camera jump. I'm using Windows Live Movie Maker. One sec. So, moving on. I think season 2 worked better than season 1 because the chemistry between the the 10th Doctor and Rose was so fabulous, but the writing, it could have done better. There were only a few good episodes that I can really think of. You know, the writing was really not that great. One that comes to mind is Love and Monsters. I think the problem with Love and Monsters is that the writing was always that bad throughout the entire season. But the problem is that in that episode they decided to completely get rid of the fabulous chemistry between Ten and Rose. And I think that's the reason that the only scene that was funny was the scene at the beginning with the blue bucket and the red bucket. That was funny. And the writing was that weird and zany for the whole season, but we just never saw our favorite characters, and we just saw this dork that we didn't know, and we didn't know who he was. We were not connected to him in any way, and he didn't have any chemistry with any other characters. He was never running into any other characters except in exposition and flashbacks and whatnot. But we were missing out on the two people that actually make the second season worthwhile. You may disagree with me, that's fine, but I do believe that the second season was absolutely the weakest point for the writing. Actually, you know what? It might go that bad in season 6 and season 7 after Moffat went crazy. Well, I'll get more into that later, but I do believe that the second season it was only good because of the chemistry of the characters that we came to love. I mean, not that there were not redeeming episodes. I said that the writing was crappy throughout the entire season, but that was actually the writing was generally crappy throughout the entire season. I would have to say that a few episodes that really stood out were excellent stories with really rich characters, and one of them is the girl in the fireplace. I love that episode. That was great. But I think one thing that made it really good was that we saw three of our favorite characters pretty much the whole time they were on screen, and we saw them interact with other people, and their acting skills were so good. And it was so charming when the doctor found the horse, and they also found a really good actress to play Madame de Pompadour. And so I do believe that there were of course, there were redeeming episodes in season 2, but I do believe that the writing was fairly consistently bad throughout the entire second season. And again, the only thing that brought it up was the chemistry. One thing that I didn't think was the best about the three main characters, Mickey, Rose, and the 10th Doctor, one thing that I didn't think worked too well was Mickey's obsession with how much more the Doctor cared about Rose. And of course, I understand he's thinking of Rose as his territory or whatever because they were dating. But the problem I have with it is that why would Mickey care so much? I mean, he he doesn't want the 10th Doctor as his boyfriend, and if he did, then they should have played that factor up a bit more. But I just thought it was a bit strange and a bit out of character for someone like Mickey to care so much about being wanted by the Doctor. I mean, I can completely understand how he would want to keep Rose, but that's not really what he was talking about. He wasn't talking about how the Doctor was stealing Rose. That's not what he was upset about. Or seemingly. That's not seemingly what he was upset about. He seemed to be more upset about the fact that he was being left behind. And that did not really work with the character too well. Well, I think that's all I have to cover in season 2. I love Ten and Rose. Okay, sorry, one sec. I'm back. I think I can speak for everyone when I say that Rose was sincerely missed after the second season. I will go more in depth as to the aftermath of her disappearance in the next season. Well, the next few seasons. And I believe that's all for today. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you agree with my views, and if not, please comment. Please put a comment right down there and tell me what you think about Series 2. That's it. The video's over. Go home. Just kidding, I love the movie Ferris Bueller. Stay tuned. Another video about Series 3 will be coming at you pretty soon. So, see you then.